How's it going all? Welcome to part 2. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, you probably want to start with that so you can see what we're actually doing. But if not, let's get on with this one and get some more on this boat done. So at the moment, I've been blocking this all down, trying to get it all nice and level. And now it's a case of starting to fill bits like this. Obviously I've still got to do this channel along the bottom, but like I say, I need to get this all smooth first. I want to get rid of some of these bigger bits up here need re-skimming. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to get the grinder and cut into these bits here. Make them a little bit sort of opened up so I can get some fiberglass in there and strengthen them back up. I think I'll do that first, to be honest. Make sure I've got them all while I'm doing it. A couple of tiny ones up on here, but I think they'll go with the glaze. Take the edges off so when I put the fiberglass in there that you can see our wood through there so we know it's nice and solid. So this is a fiberglass filler. It's basically like a resin with all bits of fiberglass in it. Goes rock hard once it's gone off. Try not to get it everywhere though because it's quite hard to sand. Push it right into the gap where you want it. Try and tidy up the edges so you haven't got sand too much. Right in there, and a little bit of excess over the top. Well, you won't get this in one fill. You have to go back and do it again, but we'll see what we get. Try not to get any air bubbles enough my get in it. See how strandy it is. It's good because you want some strength there as well. I just got it on the first bit. I've got a tiny bit in there because it's a bit of a hole now. I've dug it out. I don't really want to put her in there that deep. That should take care of that. So that should go rock solid. While we're letting that go off, we'll go under this front here. Because while I'm doing repairs right there, sometimes I've got a bit of fiberglass and stuff like that left over, so I want to get this area cut out. there's some projects down here and there's some plastic and stuff put in there as well, so I'll get this all ready to take some material. We could be doing that as well, put on the other side. Got some long screws in that. I know it's got the tight in there. Didn't think that was going anywhere. Just the same, there's a rope over the top of that. And while the boat was going up and down in the waves, obviously that anchor rope was just wearing backwards and forwards, and that went through. Not good. We certainly won't have any of that sort of problem because we'll make sure we've got the proper roller system off the end there with a roller over the edge, which will stick out here somewhere. So we got that off, that's sorted. Just had to give it a couple of taps. That was a bit sort of funny shaped screw. So while we're looking at the front here, I'm starting to like the boat with no rail on the front. So I want your opinions if possible, please. If you can put in the comments below whether you like the boat with the railings and stuff on like that, or you like it a bit barer, a bit plainer, like that. Give me some ideas. I quite like it like that with no bars. I think it looks sort of cleaner, smoother. But we'll have to see. Let's see what everyone say. Give you a little look at what's left behind. I'm going to get rid of these now as well. We're going to literally get rid of them. They hook up around the side here as well. They're not very nice. I don't know when they've gone rusty like that. They're not obviously the best metal, I reckon. They're probably not 316 stainless. There's another one here as well. So I think we'll get rid of them and then we'll do the repairs to show that they weren't even ever there. Well, that was seriously hard work. Come out in two pieces, but they're all there. So we can still stick it together and trace around it to make the new windows. Don't know what was holding the top of that one in, all around the top there. Some sort of weird white stuff. Thing is, these could have been in there 20 years for all we know. We don't know, do we? So just to do our best to get them out. That's out, but I reckon that took about an hour, 20 minutes. Yeah, hour, 20 minutes or so. That took ages just to get that one window out. But we're there. Still got one more left though. So that one won't look bad. It's got a crack in it, but it's sharp. Ripped my finger open. I'm going to clean that all up now. So we're going to get all sorts of stuff in it. Right, so all the windows are out. Hands are a bit sore now. Surprising what I do. Rip the screw over the threads trying to turn everything. All part of the fun. Right. Sort my hands out. So we've had another sand and another fill all along this side. Starting to get to the point where there ain't much left to get it perfect. It's just one of them processes. You have to just keep going and going and going until you're happy to the point you're at, basically. Them bits we done earlier with the fiberglass, they're lovely, rock solid now. Just what we needed, so that's a bonus. Definitely don't want no soft parts on the edge of your boat, or anywhere on your boat really, do you? So we're starting to look pretty good. The next thing I'm going to do is have a tidy up around this bit here, so we can get some stuff in this and let that start to set and stuff like that. So we're down to the bare wood. It's obviously quite thin there by the looks of it. So let me know what you think. Do you think I need to glass that? Some mats and resin? That's what I'm thinking. Don't think we should just put the paste in there. I probably would hold it, to be honest, but just got to make sure that's all good. Let me know in the comments below what you would do. Would you glass it, or would you just put some fiberglass repair paste over it? I think I need to be glassed to keep the really strong strength that we need. So it's the next day, everyone. I've already put in about 6 hours, so I better get you up to speed to where we are. We're doing a lot of sanding, refilling, blocking, that sort of stuff. So I don't think you'd want to see a whole video of just sanding the same panels. But I'll sort of bring you to where we are now. Done a bit of work on the front there, done a bit of work inside the boat along the top. So let's go over and have a look, shall we? So as you can see, we're still up to here at the end of the boat. But all of this, these are not lines, this is all lovely and flush, lovely and smooth. So I'll step back and run you along. They look like all separate bits because they've been filled in separate mixes. But I can assure you this is all lovely and smooth, and nothing like this anymore. Then after that, what I done is I started concentrating on this line. So I've gone all the way along that line. It's untidy at the moment because I haven't started filling it, because I've had to put 2 skims in there. I like it to go hard for a good hour or so before I touch it. I'll then mask all the bottom half. As you can probably see, all the rub strip is all masked up, and I'm completely filled from the line down to the rubbing strip, which is all of this. You'll be very surprised how many mixers this take to put in. I've used, I think I'm on my 3rd packet of glazing filler now, and glazing putty this stuff. And I think they're £28 for 2, so they're not cheap. I think we're going to use probably 10, maybe 15 on this boat. It could even be 20. We're going to use quite a few, I reckon, by the time we get all the way around, but it's all part of it. So once I've done that, I started working on this post here. I've got it sort of as smooth as I can, and we've got some areas up the top here we've got to deal with where we're slightly gone through. I had to cut them back and make them a bit thicker there. Whereas the glass has been laid on the corners, it's a bit thin on some of the areas. I've got to deal with down the bottom of this corner by hand. So I don't want to mess up all this where this is all nice and shiny. Alright, now I don't know if you remember these repairs that we cut out and done, which are rock solid now. We've flattened them back, but there's still a few edges on them. So I've got to cut these probably sort of to there or so. There's a new one arised here, so we've got to do that one as well on the edge of this one. So I'm probably going to do from somewhere here right the way along there now, and just make sure it's all good. We've also got a new one popped up over here. So there's always new bits to find and new bits to sort out, which is a bit of a pain. But I then came round onto the front. I've laid a piece of mat under there, as you can probably see, and it's resin, and I've put some fiberglass filler over the top now, and we're now starting to shape it. But what I've noticed while I've been around the front here a lot, now I can see it in the light, I don't know why you can see that, but on the front here there's lots of dents and dips, and it's not very straight. I'm not very happy with that, so I'm going to cut all that back quite a lot. And I'm going to re-fiberglass them areas, and I want this whole front panel basically as smooth and nice as I can. What we'll do with the edge of these windows, because they're in, but you can like put your thumb under them. I think they need to be nice and smooth, so we've got to deal with them as well. Same on the other side here. There's, you should be able to see it here, there's a line where the wood's in the boat here, and then that sort of steps down. We don't want none of that, do we? We want this all to blend in along under these windows and all these panels, so we're going to take that back as far as we dare, and then blend it in across the whole panel, so all the way across the whole front of the boat is all one level. There's a big dip here as well, so we've got a fair bit of work to do, chopping around on the front of the boat here and getting that as smooth as we can. It's going to be quite a pain, to be honest, I reckon, but I think it's worth doing, just to, you know, get it at a nicer finish. Right, then after that I climbed up into the boat. As you can see, we've got a lot of dust and dirt and all sorts in here now, because I've been working in here. I've started going along this top rail. That's left me with lots of little divots and stuff. And we're sort of to there, that's where I am, but that's what the rest of the rail looks like. That's what we've got to, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get this gel coat somehow and like scuff it all up. So, because I want to re-fiberglass all the way along the top of here. Get this all level because that's a bit ovaled. So I'm going to scuff this, or probably cut slightly the top layer out, or just scratch it up with maybe a wire wheel or something like that. Just so when I lay a skim of fiberglass all the way along, it's got something to grab hold of and adhere to. Got this bit of damage here to sort out. Need to cut that out completely, make it a bit bigger, and get some fiberglass in there. And that's sort of where I got to. I had a little go on this side here and I could hardly touch it, so I'm going to have to get some probably 40 grit paper or something like that and go a bit rougher on that, I think, to deal with that. So yeah, as you can probably see, I've come quite a long way since we last spoke. Yes, I've got a mess over everything, but going to have a good old wash down and sort out at some point anyway. Obviously we don't want to get water inside the boat there, but we'll do what we've got to do to get it as fresh as possible. It's going to be fun doing all these bits in here, I know that. There's some, this is quite nice, these sort of shapes on the top of here and that, but then when you get to this end, it's not so good. You can still see where the bars and stuff are in there. So we're going to skim all them sorts of things and round this all off nice. And we got all the, let me just zoom back a bit. Got all the roof to do at some point. Probably one day we'll have a solar panel sitting up there, helping with charging and stuff. And a couple of nice bright lights for going along in the evenings and in the dark. And all sorts of things all put up under here as well and round the sides, and yeah, there's loads and loads to do, but it all costs money, so I've got to do it bit by bit, because obviously while I'm working on the boat I'm not earning no money because that's my own boat, it's not being sold. So at the moment I'm doing bits on this at the same time. So damage repair down the sides, so I'm sorting that out as and when I get a chance to do a bit on it, in between waiting for stuff on this to dry. So it's keeping me busy. The arms and chest and back and everything are totally shot, but I'll have probably a day off. Well, not probably, I will. I have Mondays off from the garage normally. I'll normally be out filming for the channel, probably doing some boat videos or doing some fishing, stuff like that. Probably both, to be honest. So it's sort of a day off, but sort of not, because it's working for the channel again. But it just gives my arms a little rest from sanding all day long. So we are coming along, but as you can see, it's not the easiest job in the world. Most boats are not like this, and they're not normally all bobbly like that. Normally they'd have a nice smooth finish like down the bottom there. But this boat is a custom boat on the top half, so that's what we're dealing with. I like the idea of the high sides and how the boat had been made, but I just realised that it weren't, hadn't been finished to the condition that I would have done it if I was doing it myself. So the chap who done it done a really good job of designing it. He just weren't very good at actually doing the finishing touches and doing the bodywork to it. But I'm sure one day when I've finished, I'll be staring at a nice, smooth, shiny, new looking boat. Be getting excited, ready to get out on the water. So, what you thinking? I took on a bit of a project there, haven't I? That's going to take some, well, it is taking some serious sanding to get rid of all them bobbly bits and re-skim and get everything flush. That front end I just show you, that's going to be a nightmare to get everything nice and smooth. But I will do it bit by bit. But let me know in the old comments below what you think, and would you tackle it? Because I think that's quite a hard job to be doing. It's a good job I've got sort of fiberglass and skills and stuff like that from doing the old show cars, making body kits and stuff for them and stuff like that back in the day. Don't do that so much now. I just do like sort of the paint work and rust repair and that sort of thing, engine work, MOTs, brakes, you know, all that sort of stuff. I do the odd car to a really nice standard, but not so much as I used to. Like every car I was building was like all fancy colours and big body kits, big wheels, and yeah, all sorts of stuff. Not enough time in the day for me anymore. Not doing the fishing and filming boats and filming this sort of stuff. Because even when I've done, say, 12 hours on the boat or whatever, I end up having to go home and then doing like 6 hours of editing. So the time is taken up all the time, really. Not many hours left for sleeping, and then we get up the next day and we're doing it all over again. So yeah, it's good fun. Naked, yeah. We're already on part 2. Right, I'm going to have hot chocolate, get refreshed a little bit, grab something to eat. I'll get back on it. Right, so this is rock solid now. So I'm going to sand it back and see what we got. So what we're trying to do here is build up the low spots, but we still want them strong. And once we've got the strength, we can then skim it all for the shape with the lighter stuff. It's probably the lowest spot, it's quite bad though. Need to make my mind up whether we're putting these bars back in or not, or whether we fill these where they go. Get through a bit of material, I think. Gonna need a lot more than that. Just trying to get the big dip gone first. Got some highs here and some lows there. Have to cut some of this back. Even once I get this to where I want, I'm still going to have to cut into it to get it flat. I'm just trying to get some sort of level. So I've got some more ready here. Start doing the whole area. Nice tough stuff this is, before I use it. So I've got to make it one up whether we're going through them holes or not. Just hindering me a little bit at the moment. Whew. Taking a bit of work, but we're starting to get something a bit low here still. Right, we need to let that cassette now and see what sort of shapes we're getting. While I'm waiting for that, I'll find something else to do. So this is what it looks like from down here. And as you can see, we're starting to get a much better level. A couple of bits, like, it's very hard to show on camera, but there's still a few bits that need doing. And we're going to have to obviously dig into all the way underneath under this window, and that whole bit will have to be skimmed all the way across. We'll probably end up literally just going across the whole front of the boat. That'd be the easiest way to get it the nicest and smoothest. And I'll probably carry this on all the way down the edge of the top half of the boat as well. Not only is it going to give it more strength, because once we get a gel coat over the top of this as well, that's another 2 or 3 layers of resin. It's going to strengthen it all up nicely. And it's also, once it's all primed and all that lot as well, it's going to look pretty nice, pretty smooth, quite sleek looking. That will give it a way better appearance than what we got on the other side, if you remember. We're still on the front as well, but that's what we're dealing with. Let's find a bit more light so you can see it properly. Yeah, we're basically dealing with that on the sides, which is a bit of a nightmare really. So this repair on the front now is starting to look fairly good. When I've got a little bit left over, I'm just going to put a little bit more in here and just a bit more on this radius. And then once I've sanded and got this all smooth and we've got rid of some of this gel coat, I'll then do this again and go a bit wider all the way along the front here, just to put some strength down both sides of the front of that. It's pretty tough, but we'll just do it while we're doing it anyway. Going to order up some much tougher sandpaper and have a dig at this. I've been over this panel now 4 or 5 times now with some 80. It's starting to go down, but it just takes forever. You know, a little square panel like that can take you 3 hours, which is just crazy. If you were doing that on a car, say bodywork like over there, if I was sanding down a wing, it'd take 10 minutes, 15 minutes. There's a huge difference. Right, so something else I've just noticed. This radius line, as you can see, it goes round all quite nicely along this side. Obviously it needs smoothing and flattening and bending a bit better, but if you look at this side, we come along the panel and then that completely disappears on this corner. So we're going to have to probably build up from about here, come outwards and put a radius in all the way around this corner. That ain't going to be very much fun. That's going to be a pain to do, but we've got to do it because it's just going to look strange if not, with a piece not there, if you know what I mean. So there's another quite big job. Well, I'm starting to run out of this sort of stuff now, so time to put another order in, get some more of that. We've just ordered another 10 bags of this stuff, so they're on their way. So that's another, what, 150 and then 60 for the other stuff. Soon adds up. Sort of day by day you can just start putting sort of, some days that can be £300 into the, you know, depending on what you got to buy. And then you need things like thinners for cleaning and stuff like that. And then obviously all these tools I'm running on the benches all have to have their different tandem pads and stuff on the bottom of them. They all run different things. Disc for that, knife blades, cleaner for cleaning up the old filler spreaders to get them going again, the blue roll. It's just endless, it just goes on and on. Masking tapes, the rougher stuff. This is the stuff we're putting in the, that's the fiberglass resin, as you can see. Let me see if I can get a tub like this, but that size now. That's cardboard filler, that one, we're not using that one, but you get the idea. And then we're going to have to, once we are actually prepped and stuff, we then got to buy primers, which we'll do a good few coats of filler primer, and then we'll have to sand that back, and then we'll do a primer surfacer on top of that. That'll smooth everything off. And then it's gel coats, so we've still got a long way to go yet, and a lot more money. But day by day we're getting a bit more done. When I stand back and look at it like this, I look like I haven't done anything, but I know I have. Just if I walk around the other side, I know exactly how far I've come, so that's pretty cool. Let's keep moving on with it. Someone asked about what sandpapers and that we're using, so if I just sort of go close you can get an idea. Basically have to run all that lot. Got more in the cupboards. And then all the finer stuff is over in the other cupboards up the top there. You can see all the different grades for when you're flattening things back and polishing things back. I can't really sort of tell you prices, and one like this, you're looking at £30 for a box of that. These ones, £39.99. These ones here, £26-ish. Then when you get up into the finer grades, they get even more expensive. But that's just a rough idea because someone asked on the previous video, sent me a message. This finish is £39.99, I think. And the U-pole cleaner, you can probably see yourself there, it's £30 a tub. So I hope that clears up your questions on the previous video. Don't think there was anything else that anyone asked. You need normal stuff like scissors, brushes, bits and pieces. These are Scotch-Brite pads. I think that's pretty much what we're using at the moment. Obviously you need different hardness and stuff for different materials that you're putting in. They're about £6 a packet, I think. And then there's other stuff that I didn't show, like this little tool. You have to buy the disc for that. And then there's the grinder with the little discs on. I buy them in bags like so. Bag like that is £60. Surprising you soon get for a deal on money. But hopefully that's answered all the stuff that you asked me on the last one. I got a few messages and that through Messenger and stuff, just asking me what I've been doing, what we use, how much things cost. And yeah, it's definitely not a cheap project. You'd be, you know, way in the thousands by the time it's finished. But at least you know you've done it all yourself and you know what's under everything. And that should last if you do a good job of it. I mean, I expect this to, the top half of this to last 10 years once I've done it. Unless obviously something hit it or something like that, we get some damage, but otherwise that should last, a good while. And we'll only have to do bits and pieces on the bottom half. So where it's white on the bottom half there, I'm probably going to change the colour. And then the actual underneath, where it's yellow, which is the original colour of the boat. Just keep an eye on that bottom half section all the time. We'll clean that all back at some point and see what we got. But as you can probably see, it's still in very good condition, still look quite shiny underneath all that dirt. You just got to make sure there's no repairs you need to do. I think there is a couple I've had a little look. And there's a couple like so. But they're only small sort of gel coat repairs, just where it goes on and off the rollers onto the trailer. Some of the rollers and stuff on the trailer probably need replacing. It's been a bit rough. Or it could have been, someone could have pulled up to an island or somewhere, or pulled up onto a sandbank, hit of rocks, gravel, it could be anything. But hopefully that's answered all your questions on the previous video. If there is anything else, drop a comment below this video as well, or send me a message in Messenger, and I'll do my best to help you out and let you know what's what. So I think we're going to end this one here, everyone. I hope that little section just now has helped you out for the questions and stuff I got earlier, not earlier, on the previous video. There is cheaper ways of doing it. The sandpaper and all the tools and all the stuff I use are all top of the range. We don't use the sort of cheaper side of stuff, but I expect my stuff to last if I do it. I want it to, want a few years out of it, not a few months and have to do it again. So sort of each to your own how you want to do it. But my advice would be get the best sandpapers, get the best materials to put in to do repairs and stuff like that, and that should look after your back. So she's coming along, but a lot of blood, sweat and tears are going into it. And we still haven't completed this side yet, or that front. But that's what it's all about. bit by bit, we're going to keep finding stuff. There's going to be stuff all the way around we're going to find we've got to do. It's all part of the job, part of any job really. Same with the cars and stuff. You start sanding into a job and you find that someone else has repaired it with whatever. So you have to dig that all out, grind it all back to the metal and start over again. So you never know what you're going to find. You just have to deal with the situations as you're going along and go from there really. So thanks for watching everyone. Hope you're enjoying the series so far. And I'll see you in part 3 pretty soon. See you soon everyone.